You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The crew is in the building. Starting off with my man Jay Moore. Got his bowling swag on the day I see you representing St. Louis. How are you, sir?
No, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
No, I'm good, man. It is officially NBA season.
Yes.
So I figured I'd rock a throwback.
Yeah, I like that, though.
You know, what's crazy is like St. Louis and Kentucky were the two teams that were not accepted into the NBA during the merger. And they said, hey, we'll give you this deal where you get part of the television revenue going forward. And since the NBA was on tape delay, that didn't seem like a whole lot of money.
No, it didn't.
Until the NBA became a juggernaut in the 80s and 90s. And the owners of the Spirits of St. Louis, who could barely draw 500 people to come see them play, made about $500 million off that deal.
There it is.
So the Kentucky Colonels, guy who owned them, he said, well, just give me $3 million. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep, sucks for him.
So
Definitely
it's about deal making, y'all. It's about deal making.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder, man.
Yeah.
My man Lonegevity rocking that crispy New Old Heads merch. I see you, brother.
Yeah, I don't have as cool of a story. Yeah. Just a little test print.
Hoodie look good on you, man.
Maybe we'll have some of these in the next couple weeks or something. But newoldheads.com.
The people was talking, man. I think we might have a little demand for those.
I think we're going to do a couple colorways.
Yeah.
Potentially. We got some other ideas soon.
Looks good, brother.
Hoodie season.
Yeah, it's definitely hoodie season. My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations. What's good?
I mean, I can't call it. Everything good your way?
Yep. Got my oil, got my kit. The kit is back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up. Busta Rhymes and Jay Electronica.
The argument was based around lyricism. If I'm paraphrasing, who's nicer? Like
bar for bar,
who's better? Even with that, it's like, okay, so you want to, when I bring up his catalog, then people say, why are you trying to go to his catalog?
Nobody cares about people.
Duh. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Stop bringing up these people.
I mean, but they was in the comment section. Anyway.
Who cares about the comment section?
It's part of the story. All right.
Nobody cares about the story. Sorry. No, I'm sorry.
But look, with the bars, bro, it's like, okay, yeah, bar for bar. That's a conversation.
I think bar for bar is the only conversation that can potentially be had with Jay Electronica and Busta Rhymes.
Everything else is not even comparable.
Yeah. Everything else is Busta Rhymes.
Right?
Yeah. But bar for bar, I can see the conversation being had.
I can see the conversation, but it's not like someone's winning by a landslide.
No, exactly,
I
bro.
give it to Busta Rhymes and look, everyone.
Whoa.
No, let me.
Okay, I'm gonna let you land. Go ahead.
No, it's just the fact that Busta Rhymes. A lot of times we hear and we think about that. But when you break down what he's saying, like I said, extinction level event. For those of you who have not listened, go back and listen. He is barring that album up.
I agree.
He was singing the songs of salvation on that.
Man.
I'm telling you,
too is really good.
But I'm saying, like, everyone, we think about his appearances and the moments with the Tribe Called Quest. But when you dig into Busta Rhymes' actual catalog, not just the songs as singles, not just those appearances that ring off in the club. I'm sorry, Busta. To me, it's not even. And I think Jay Electronica. I mean, he's dope. He doesn't have the catalog. He doesn't have the work. He put, Shiny Suit Theory on 2 albums. But,
I don't know. I still think bar for bar, there's absolutely a conversation.
He's a really good MC. But the thing about it is, and I actually brought this up, when it comes to being more introspective, he's definitely that guy.
Yeah, because he's talking about like pyramids on Mars and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? That type of thing.
At an elite level, though.
Him and Busta Rhymes aren't the same type of artist as far as even lyrics are concerned. Yeah. Because his lyrics are going to be in a whole different realm than the lyrics that Busta Rhymes is going to give you, but he's still going to serve you regardless.
I mean, to your point, the landslide part is the part that grinds my gears, because first of all, it's not that.
It really grinds your gears.
That grinds my gears, but I'm not about to sit up here and cap and say that Jay Electronica is not an elite MC, because he is. Yeah, but come on, man, when you, I'm a totality person. When we put everything together, I just don't think it's comparable.
Yeah, but that's not the argument, though, right?
It's not. If you want to do bar for bar, then just let's stay there. But when you start talking about all of the rest of it, I don't think there's a comparison.
I think that Here's what I would say. I think when it comes to taking bars off, I think Jay Electronica takes less bars off than Busta Rhymes. But that's also because Busta Rhymes has so much more music.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And he has pop hits.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why they're not the same type of artist.
Yeah, it's hard to judge them
because I can't see Jay Electronica ever making a record that he means to go to the record. I mean, to the radio.
I can't ever see him making an album.
He did.
Kind of.
Every 10 years.
Yeah, and
shout out to Sean Carter.
The last album he dropped had a record on there from 1975 that he recorded.
1975?
Yeah. He was in the womb.
Yeah. Oh. So
all right.
Everybody was like, man, but the song was still cold.
That's that
like,
Baby Boy.
That resonance.
Yeah, the beginning of Baby Boy when he's in the
I'm like, fam, this record was on OK Player message boards, bro. Like, it's on the new album now. Yeah, but it's lasted the test of time. How lazy is that, bro? Word.
Like I said, and I love the song Shiny Suit Theory. I remember we played it at Coach's for years before the album came out.
Yeah, back in the 70s, right?
But take that too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is on the written testimony. Cool. But then he puts out another one like, oh, maybe this is the joint that Just Blaze talked about. He's been listening to on his phone for all these years. It wasn't that. It was, and then Shiny Suit Theory comes on again. I was like, is this a deluxe? What are we doing here?
I'm not gonna hold you. I hate
mixtape.
Yeah,
I hate when Just Blaze says that because I know in my heart that they have amazing music, and he's always like, yeah, we got an album. It's just labels and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fam, stop saying that because I know. It's probably phenomenal music.
Did the same thing with Saigon.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we got Saigon.
Saigon.
Finally, we got it. But it was when nobody was thinking about Saigon anymore. After he had been on the TV show,
true.
Everything leading up to him. Entourage, yeah. Everything leading up to him supposed to blow.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. He was on the cover of magazines, and it didn't drop.
We always talk about
always.
Yeah,
that might be one of the artists that missed.
I think so.
The boat.
Saigon.
One of the biggest artists that missed the boat.
I mean, because it was like he was on Atlantic, I believe, and I just remember in the song, like they were trying to get him to do songs like with Trey Songz, and he wound up doing a song with Trey Songz called "Pain in My Life." And I actually liked that song, but I'm like, I don't know why they thought that was going to do well at radio.
You know what? Saigon might be one of the few people that has the ultimate starter kit. That didn't translate. When I say starter kit, I mean Just Blaze on production. You got Come On Baby that has Swiss beats all over it with the ad libs, produced by Just Blaze, and it's a remix for Jay-Z.
Which was in the movie Hitch. That's
what I'm saying.
Skin,
he had the
Mark Ronson.
He had
everything
the ultimate starter kit.
Yep. So I was gonna say, like, he had everything,
bro. He had the ultimate starter kit for that. Not to we define success based off whatever you want to define.
For sure.
What I'm saying is, with that starter kit, bro. He had a starter kit.
Oh, did he have a better starter kit than Cannabis?
Oh, he did, actually.
He did.
What Cannabis was on a big song.
Yep.
And that set him up to drop an album. And then he beefed with LL, who was hot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, Saigon's lead up was better than Cannabis.
He was rocking with the Fugees when the Fugees were it, though.
That's true.
Cannabis?
Yes.
Yeah, but it ain't hit.
Saigon had more looks.
He had, this is when mixtapes meant something. This is when MP3s, which are 128 kilobits, just started hitting them websites. But he was having whole Cannabis mixtapes.
When he messed up, though? When he showed up to them awards with Wyclef painted silver.
Yeah.
Wasn't nobody ready to take him serious after that.
Yeah.
The Just Blaze that Saigon had is the Rockefeller acclaimed Just Blaze. He got laced. The production, if you go back and listen to it's called A Story.
The Greatest Story Never Told. It's a great album.
The production on that album is amazing.
It was just like 3 years too late.
Bruh. And he had the Just Blaze.
I'm sitting here like thinking like, what was it? I think he just missed his time.
Yeah.
He might have just missed it.
It was supposed to came out when he was being seen all the time. Right. And it didn't happen.
I found out, I've told the story like 3 or 4 times since on the show, but I found out about Saigon on SoundClick.
See?
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, like,
you took me back on SoundClick.
He had a song called Purple.
Over the Nas?
He had a song, it was like Red and Blue Make Purple the Color of Love or something like that. But it was it was a dope record. I was like, who's this guy? And then I start seeing him pop up like a year after that.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a dope underground. Well, he was, but back in those days it was different. Because there was no way to find people unless you randomly happened upon them.
Yeah.
Sit behind your computer, go to the blogs, you know.
Bro, that was
like before blogs, though. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like 2002.
This is back when magazines were still being printed because he was on the cover or something.
This is like this is like 𝐀𝐄𝐃 days and LimeWire.
There you go. There you go.
Like,
Just giving your family laptop herpes.
You know what though? I remember, to y'all point about finding artists, that was a really good feeling to run into an album and run into somebody that was extremely dope, so that I could share it with somebody and be like, yo, Lone did this all the time with me. Have you heard?
Jay 𝐀𝐿 was one of those dudes.
Exactly.
Little Brothers was one of those groups.
Lone put me on to so many artists who I call Lone artists that I never would have heard of, because he was in that vibe, he was in that pocket finding the records, and he would send them to me or be like, yo, man, you need to listen to this. So I got put on by him with so much great music in that era, bro, and it was just like happenstance. Like
sharing music before sharing music was just sharing music.
It's true.
Hey.
Before we were actually sharing music.
That's true. You was putting people on before y'all started doing that.
Yeah. Pimpin' since spin, pimpin' since spin,
Pimpin'.
Shouts to Indianapolis.
Yeah. Mike Epps.
Yep.
So last week we talked about Ice Spice giving peas to music critics. Well, fast forward, Benny the Butcher is actually calling out critics. So I'm gonna read what he says, and then we can kind of dissect his comments as it relates to good old music critics. He says,
Music.
shout out to Memphis. Stop trying to give y'all opinions because y'all N-words are not Stephen A. Smith. Respectfully, though, it's like enjoy the music. MFers don't enjoy the music no more. They just critique the music. The people that you critiquing, you got to realize a large percent of them got here without your opinion. Like, respectfully. Mm-hmm. Don't take this the wrong way, but I get online and I see just people critiquing ish.
Who are these people?
Lone don't like people.
Lone don't like people.
I don't like people, man.
Saying what they like and don't like. Enough of that BS, man. Get back to enjoying the music, man.
Well, you enjoy it if you enjoy it.
So, I'm going to pose this question. Mm-hmm. The social media era, and this also goes to sports talk, because everything is a debate now.
Everything.
Has that clouded how people consume and listen to music? The opinion era, has that clouded how people listen to music? Does he have a point?
No.
It's influenced it.
I think so.
Okay, I take that back. You know what? Yes, it has, because everyone has a voice now. And the thing is, it used to be the only person you know who gave out mics would be 𝐀𝐿. Yeah. You know, and that's who, you know, there were a few people who would actually be able to critique rap albums, give out mics, give out, you know, I don't think they didn't give it out any like number or anything in vibe or whatever, but it's different now because, look, man, I just say this, us doing a podcast, creating content, we're always open. We open ourselves up to criticism. If we didn't want to be open to criticism, we'd sit around and talk about rap music for 2 hours and with no cameras on. Right. We could just talk in a circle and not put out the content. Right. You know, so we have to realize everybody's not going to agree with us. Everybody's not going to think what we do is great. And there's going to be a level of criticism. It's the same thing now. If you put out any sort of artistic expression, whether it be a movie, whether it be a TV show, whether it be music, the music that Benny the Butcher does, right. You know, you can't live for the cheers and die by the booze. It just is what it is, and you have to be super thick-skinned now.
No, I agree. My comments are similar to what I said last week. We are in an era where everybody feels like their opinion is valid and like their opinion matters. Right. And it's an interesting conversation because I don't want to sit here and say that people's opinions don't matter, but realistically, a lot of your opinions don't matter. It's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And everybody feels like they have a voice that is
platform.
I don't know if it's necessarily everybody feels like they have a voice and they should have a voice and, you know, like from that type of angle, but because it's so much at our fingertips, mm-hmm. Nobody thinks twice about commenting anything anymore.
Because it's so easy to do it.
Especially from like an anonymous account where you have that safety net of being borderline disrespectful, but also not having the respect or the confidence to say stuff with your own voice a lot of times.
And you don't have to be held accountable because how many egg people do we see?
Exactly. That's kind of my point. Like I have less of an issue with somebody voicing an opinion on a social media platform if it's literally a picture of their face and it's of them that, you know, like it's literally who they are.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you go to their Twitter profile, it has their email.
And it's not private. It says, you click on their page private. And you can actually see what they're on. Yeah. It's not private.
Because then that shows that, all right, cool, you at least have the confidence and the you at least stand by what you're saying. A lot of the other stuff is just kind of like people just feel like they can just say anything.
Trolls.
There have been many times where I've pondered the idea of just turning comments off on our things, just turning them off completely so people can't. And I wonder if like creators are going to do that in the future, because that is an option to some degree. Now, we haven't done it. We haven't done it, and I think on super sensitive issues, you see that on YouTube sometimes, where they'll just turn the comments off. You know what I mean? I think it's an interesting type of, I don't know if it's a power play, but just a way of kind of controlling the narrative sometimes to not let people have the voice that maybe they think that they deserve on certain, because it's almost like people feel like they should have a voice all the time.
That's the era that we in.
And I don't mean just like a voice to just comment and just to engage. I mean like a voice to be contrarian, a voice to just pick stuff apart for no reason.
But there's no
other than they want to hear themselves.
There's no wall that separates. Well, there's a wall to a certain extent when you talk about looking at profiles and people that are held accountable. I write for this. I have an email address. You can reach out. That's one thing. But there's a really thin wall because the trolls and the people that we're talking about, they feel like they're in the same space as the podcasters, the established podcast. There's people that feel like they have the right to comment and say things as if we would.
Yeah.
Without taking into account the experience that we have in the industry and what we've done to get to where we are,
right.
They look at it like we're here.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what clouds it, because everybody thinks that we're all here. And all these comments are just being thrown out.
It's the gift and the curse of access. We have access to be super successful in something like this. You need to be able to establish and create a community. That's what you have to be able to do.
Right.
But at the same time, not everybody that comments is somebody that I want a part of my community.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's weird.
What you think, bro?
I think it's weird that people even that don't rock with you even follow you.
It's
and
weird.
want to see everything that you're doing, and just comes on and be the contrarian all the time.
That's weird.
That's stuff that's weird to me.
Yeah, I think people are just miserable. I think that in general
that or these platforms give them the energy or the battery to think they can talk about everything. But I mean, honestly don't mind people critiquing things to a certain extent. If it's not good, it's just not good.
Yeah.
And if that's what is going across the board, just because somebody is saying it doesn't make it good just because they're saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Does he have a point though?
Is he just talking about, because I know we're talking about just the random people that comment and do things.
I think
is he talking about like somebody like us?
I don't know.
Because he could be talking about somebody like us.
The way I took
I feel like we are qualified to do that if we want to.
Sure. But I think the way I read it from the article, I think it's just in general. I think it's just people always having something to say,
so
no
just
matter
anybody
no matter who they are,
that voices an opinion,
right?
On any said release.
I could be wrong, but I'm taking it as because he's saying y'all opinions. I don't think it's just media. I think it's
called social media.
Yeah.
So if something comes out, it's honestly good that somebody's even talking about it, because it's going to make other people maybe go check it out and form their own opinion on it. That opinion might be good, and he's cool with that good one.
Yeah,
he's just not cool with the one that's a naysayer. So
for sure,
you got to kind of take it both ways.
What do y'all think about the part? I'm zeroing in on the part about enjoying the music, where it gets to the point where we're so thirsty to
all
make
of it
comments
ain't enjoyable
instead of enjoying the music. What do y'all think about
it's
that?
It's not all enjoyable.
It's not like when we've talked about Eminem before. It's not that we are critiquing him as a person. We're literally talking about how we don't enjoy his music, and then we explain why. At the same time, we've talked about how they've been saying, "Okay, I did enjoy this." Right. I said artist. Like I was very critical about Lil Wayne's. He was either Carter 4 or Carter 5.
Or even that last one, the fix before the 6 is absolute trash.
Yeah. Exactly. But at the same time, like I got on here and said, "Oh, Lil Wayne, he's on a run right now with these features."
You have to take the good with the bad. So if I'm praising you for your release, then you can't be like, "All right, we rock with this dude," but these same dudes is listening to the ones that we don't like. So if I'm like, "Yeah, this one kind of missed a little bit to me, and here's why," but I still rock with you. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we when we talked about how between Creeping on the Come Up and East 1999,
come on,
but
man.
then we completely dogged The Art of War. It's not
we've
personal.
really been dogging The Art of War for 7 years, and it just caught wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jay Moore, you kind of alluded to it, though. This is something that obviously comes with the territory, but I do think he has a point about this current era because everybody has an
turn
opinion.
off your mentions, dog. Like sometimes you got that's if it bothers you that much, you got to turn off your mentions because you wouldn't see because a lot of these people are trolls and they don't know what they're talking about. They have no credibility.
True.
But at the same time, like if someone sits and critiques your album and says, "Oh, this could have been better," "Oh, I felt like he took this song off," I mean, they're not trying to come for you personally. That's the thing about hip hop. It's so personal because, like, okay, say back in the day, some critic told Jermaine Jackson would be like, "You know what? I didn't like I Want You Back." He could be like, "Whatever, dog. I didn't write that. I didn't produce that song." But if you tell a rapper that, I think this song is trash, sometimes he takes that as you think my life is trash.
I think there's just a level of insulation that those people had in different eras that we don't have anymore. We don't have
that too.
We don't have the ability to ignore this stuff anymore.
True.
Like if you are trying to be a public figure from an independent artist to a content creator to anything, it's like a dual-edged sword of trying to build your community of people. You want to look at it because you want to see the people that are saying good things. You want to interact with them, but at the same time, you're going to, like you said, you got to take the good with the bad because there's going to be just as many people on there that just had a bad day today and they just want to disagree with something and say whatever they feel.
How many times have we all discussed and talked about the comment section? We analyze the comment section if it's on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. We talk about the comment section and how I've heard Lone say, or I've heard all of us at one point say, "Man, I almost decided to, but I was like, nah, I pull back." Or I almost was going to respond. It's like, nah, I pull back.
It's feeding them.
Yeah, because it's feeding the trolls, though.
At the end of the day, sometimes, because even as people that are considered media, people are critiquing us as well. Every time we put out a feature or a segment or something, people are critiquing our opinions and our reviews.
That's true.
And they're in the comments doing the same thing. Yep. But I actually like it.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially Lone will just reply. One of my favorite replies he has is, "Google is free."
Yeah. I love it because, honestly.
And go to therapy is my favorite, actually.
Yeah, that's another good one.
It helps other people engage. And then there's also people that agree with us. Yeah. And then there's other people. And we've already did the math on whenever somebody doesn't agree with what you're saying, you're going to see a whole lot more of that than the ones that agree with you. Yeah. So,
and the people who really rock with us don't even comment.
Yeah. This is what it is.
I've come to the point now where just to summarize it all, we know. We know what comes with what we do.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me.
You can't avoid it. So it's like, okay, it's just a part of it.
Benny, if anybody's talking about you, I think you're still in a stage in your career where people should be talking about you, whether that be good or bad, and you just got to show and prove. It is what it is.
Somebody care enough, Benny, to talk about you. So clearly you still bubbling and you still getting comments and critiques, or if it's from music critics or trolls, somebody cares enough to put that much energy into you. Like they say, man, maybe you're doing something right.
Yeah, they wasn't saying nothing bad about Cisco and Ebert when they were reviewing these movies. They were the only ones that you could go to review these movies.
True.
They actually had some pretty rotten reviews for some good movies.
Look,
but that was all you could see back then. Like Shawshank Redemption, which is a lot of people's favorite movie,
classic,
did not get good reviews. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes.
Cisco and Ebert hated Harlem Nights.
Listen,
but they loved Booty Call. They gave it 2 thumbs up.
I watched Booty Call the other day.
You know why they love Booty Call?
Jamie Foxx is funny. Don't do that. Jamie Foxx is funny in Booty Call, bro.
Jamie Foxx is funny in everything.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Ranking Booty Call as a good movie over Harlem Nights.
I remember I think they gave Coming to America 2 thumbs down.
Come on, man.
Lon, have you ever seen Booty Call?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like
I wouldn't have seen it in high school.
Based on this conversation,
I've seen it in
like
high school.
You actually ain't missing.
But the Source magazine.
I might have. I just don't remember.
Source magazine missed on a whole lot of stuff.
True.
Right? And this is back when they were publishing. It was in print, so I can still go back and see this print that everybody in school or anybody that was about the culture had and seen, and probably swayed them actually buying
Rolling
that
Stone
record.
Was even worse.
Booty Call getting anything above Harlem Nights is top tier, colossal disrespect, dumb, stupid.
It's a whole lot of
ignorant.
It's a whole lot of that in the movie world, though.
Rolling Stone gave like a bad review to America's Most Wanted and The Low End Theory.
See,
so
it's been going on forever. It's just presented to you in how we receive it now.
I just think it's just so oversaturated today. I think we're in a place right now to where it's just so much. And to be honest, even though we're saying the things that we're saying, like, you know, you got to deal with it. It's not like Benny is wrong.
He's not wrong.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But this is one of the things that you aspire to be. You want it to be somebody that people know.
Kinda.
And this kind of comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Kinda.
You can't just sign whenever you decided to come out, you can't be like, all right, I don't want any reviews from social media or anybody to be able to talk about me on there.
Lon, why do you say
kinda? It just doesn't happen.
Why are you saying kinda?
Because it's the level of disrespect sometimes. Like I don't have a problem with somebody who's got some sort of validity into what they say to review the things that I'm doing. Yeah. But I don't care about Charlie Jr. who lives across the street, who's in his underwear in his bedroom.
But in the same token, I know that my life is better than his.
But what if Charlie Jr. really likes what you did? And he's like, man, that's incredible. And he tells all 1,500 people he has and says, go out and listen to this album. For sure. You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah,
no,
it just is what it is. You can't, like I said, you cannot die by the booze.
It's to me, we're having different conversations. To me, it's not about that. I'm okay with that. It's about people being so bold in the comment sections. It's in that aspect. I don't care about people's opinions. I care about the fact that so many people feel like they can just get on here and like they matter, and they don't.
That's a different argument.
These people do not matter. I just want you guys to know you don't matter.
That's a different argument. That's a different argument.
I don't care about people.
But you know what the thing is? A lot of times they're just looking like. I can't remember who.
Love
it
you
was.
guys, but you don't matter.
It was some artist who said, you know, there was somebody coming for him in the comments, and when he finally decided to reply, the person who was saying it's like, oh man, I really love you, man. This, that, the third. And he was just like,
a lot of people just have bad days, man.
You know,
that's what it is.
A lot of people do have. We have bad days.
That's why I always say go to therapy, because what it is I'm being serious. It's a joke, but it's like people are so angry online. They're taking out the I'm going deep here. People are so miserable from day to day.
Are you talking about people?
Yes.
He is.
People in general, but not a person.
All right. Fair enough.
Everybody.
Fair enough.
Everybody is so miserable in general that they'll go online and they will just spout all their frustration and hate with the world anonymously out in the world, and you just need to go to therapy. Just go to therapy.
Yeah, because they can do it though.
I mean,
that is their therapy, but that's not a good therapy.
I mean, but just like you said, there are people who probably hate watch and hate listen to our show just so they can comment.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I mean, just like the people who say I can't stand the Kardashians. Well, why do you follow them on social media?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
can't wait for the next episode.
You know,
stop engaging.
I don't care.
We're too far gone now, honestly. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody says or does.
Yeah,
there's too much access available. So honestly, when you say something about it, it's going to make people double down and do it even more. Yep. Those miserable ones that see that, oh, I'm actually getting to this person. I'm going to continue to do this because I get joy from this.
You feed and enhance and enable a troll by a miserable person / troll by responding. That's what they live for.
They literally get a dopamine hit in their brain. Yes. When
so it's like I got
matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the white guy out of his. He's off his square now. He's commenting to me. Oh, I love this. I need this. And then he'll sleep good tonight.
Yeah.
And Lona's just laughing the whole time.
Look, when all those
I block people now.
You know,
that's good too.
No, I that's the exact way. I don't reply to the trolls. I block them. You know what I'm saying? I don't feed the trolls. I block them. It's just like when all those weirdos who are fans of Nicki Minaj. Yep. You know,
man, they came for us, didn't they?
They came for me especially.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at one point they went all the way back through like my Instagram feed. It was like something I put up when my cat died, and there was somebody actually replied, "I'm glad your cat died." Like that's how miserable her fans are.
They showed up at his establishment wearing tights. It was crazy.
Who has that much time to scroll through somebody's timeline to find out?
They've scrolled back like 2 years to find that.
That's wild.
You know, so it was just like I had to take.
There's a whole TV show behind that though too. So
it's pretty good.
Swarm.
Yeah.
That was actually really good.
That was good. I don't know why I got so much bad slack on it.
Because it was based on Beyonce.
A lot of it is because, and it goes back to these comment sections and things of that nature. A lot of people are so sensitive as to real life and what's going on and things that are actually true.
We are in an extremely sensitive era.
Yeah, I'm sensitive.
All right.
I'm very sensitive.
I got a Ralph Tresvant album you can listen to.
Thank you, man.
It actually got some heat on it too.
Is it intimate?
It's sensitive.
Well, good.
Can we shout out to partners, man?
Yeah, shouts to our partners. They love sensitivity too.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon. Come $1 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
That's why we're upgrading the computer.
Yeah, it is. Shout out
Glitch
to
in the Matrix.
Yeah, did you hear it?
a little glitch. Sorry, though. We lie. Shout out to our partners. We appreciate the relationships as always. So salute to them.
Yeah, we got some intimate relationships with our partners.
Yeah.
Why you keep saying intimate, man?
Because it makes you uncomfortable.
When you say it, it does. It makes me uncomfortable. Because you look at me like you're looking at me now and you're saying intimate. Stop looking at me and saying intimate.
Yeah, all right.
All right, man. Perhaps we should jump into one of these topics.
Yes, let's do that. Did
y'all see? Now this caught me off guard, but I want to say it's a good thing. So the playmaker Michael Irvin,
yes sir,
he was on Undisputed, and
I remember when he was here in the club having a good time.
Sure was.
Mike be having a good time.
Yeah, he do.
Cocaine.
Shout out to the Cowboys.
Don't do that.
Had on a fur coat, had something nice with him.
Hey,
Listen,
a few
Mike,
of them.
First of all, Mike is like that. So let's super legend.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
The lure is true.
Yeah. Mike. Now he didn't change. Mike didn't come on around. No, don't look at me like that, Jay Moore.
Oh, no, I was going to say, the only thing I was going to say is shout out to Mike for actually standing up for himself.
Nah, straight up.
Facts.
When he had them accusations and actually, because NFL Network let him go and all this other stuff, and come to find out that girl was lying.
But bro, he was on Undisputed. He brought up his sons, and this was his son's rap career in the conversation. And he says, I got a son, he raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. I hope I pronounced that right.
I don't.
As if you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life, but he's rapping.
Say it like him, your whole life.
Oh, I'm gonna do it again.
There you go.
You grew up in a gated community your whole life.
There you go.
But you're rapping my life because we romanticize and fantasize about the old thug life, ghetto life, all of that stuff. We used to work to get away from it. Now we've gotten to a place somehow where we're running back towards it in music and everything. So is he putting his son on blast, or
That's what he gets,
or is he telling the truth? Because
he's telling the truth.
Low key, this is a message that maybe some people need to hear. Or am I tripping?
You're not tripping. And I'm gonna say this from somebody that actually grew up in
now this is a father talking about his son who's aspiring rapper.
I know.
Okay.
It's always the opposite though. So I'm from the hood or whatnot, grew up there, whatever. People like us, we were trying to get out and make, you know what I'm saying, be different versus and this was happening back then. It would be people you went to school with that were not from any kind of neighborhood but wanted to claim this, that, and the other because it made them feel, I don't know, tougher or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Yep.
It's some kind of weird dichotomy that people try to grasp onto a life that they know nothing about because it's kind of fantasized and romanticized. But in our reality, it's not cool. I knew people that lived in crack houses, like some of my friends, and you go over their house, you like, this is crazy. Like they're catching the bus and going to school with you every day, and they live in a literal crack house. So they come home and people are in there that they know nothing about, and they're just doing what they're doing.
Right.
So people like that grew up in gated communities and want to act like this is glamorous and this is that. It really ain't, man. Because once they actually get a taste and see what that is, and usually when that happens is when it comes to gunplay. When they find out how
they're not built.
Exactly, how they're not built. That's when they find out, and sometimes it's too late.
So I'm just gonna take from what you just said. Sounds like you're on Mike's side in terms of him putting a message out there about how that really ain't it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Because why would you rap about some stuff that you have nothing to do with? Like he said, you grew up in a gated community. Gated means you're shielded from whatever is going on outside.
The reason I'm asking you this is because one, I know with your story, I know your story is authentic, so you can speak from that. What I'm saying is you'll see the opposite. you'll see, well, Mike shouldn't do that to his son because his son is trying to he's an aspiring rapper, and it might take his credibility away, and it might pull from who he's going to be.
He needs to be more like T.I.'s son. You know what I'm saying?
Except we're getting them teeth.
Well, not that one. He got 2 other sons that rap. Well, one of them does rap. One of them do country music.
Okay.
But Damani's cold.
Okay, yeah.
Damani's cold, but he doesn't rap about, and he's not fantasizing his daddy's life.
Damani's cold.
He's just a talented individual that's trying to get his music out there. So his son, Michael Irvin's son, we wouldn't even know nothing about Tut Tarantino unless his daddy brought him up. So he actually should be giving his daddy some props for even telling people about who he is.
What you think, Jay?
Look, man, I hope more family members come out and expose the people in their family rapping about that gangster life who really grew up in a nice situation. I grew up in a really nice Huxtable type situation.
That's awesome.
And the thing is, like, but everybody in my family didn't.
Right.
And I don't want to romanticize anything that they went through that was hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would not trade places with them even to pretend, and so this young man, I don't know if maybe he doesn't have the artistic expression to try to find a way to talk about something other than what he's heard. Because once again, as much as I loved NWA and Mobb Deep and all these I couldn't really relate to what they was talking about. I could relate more to like De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest. Not that they came up in super rich situations, but they almost rapped with a more middle class sensibility than people who was just talking about the street life.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this young man, we're talking about him now only because his father decided to say, yo, Tut Tarantino, that's not how you grew up.
Yeah, his algorithm totally switched.
His
daddy did him a favor, actually.
But at the same time, you got to understand, I grew up in a nice situation and I didn't have a gate. So when you talking about, grew up in a gated community, that means that's about 4 or 5 steps up from how I grew up. And I grew up very Huxtable.
Where Tut grew up at, you got to put a code in to get in there.
You got to put a code in. He's riding around the neighborhood in a golf cart. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Automatically had a finished basement and good Christmases.
Ain't nobody serving on nobody's corner.
Well, I was a little shocked that the number, it wasn't down, it was kind of more down the middle than one side or the other, because to Terry's point, sometimes this needs to be brought out, this needs to be talked about, because we know plenty of artists that we've seen and we grew up seeing the stories and stuff, and people just coming out saying they're one thing and we know it's not. But I did, that other side of it where it's like, man, you might crush this young fellas.
Listen, man.
That's okay.
That's what I was about to ask. But I'm coming alone.
People on the outside looking in are trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to get to where you're at.
Right.
Where you started from.
Right.
Yeah, where you started from.
Compared to some people, like, you were born on third base when I'm trying to hit a triple.
Come on, man.
At the end of the day, he got a hell of a lob. I didn't know nothing about him. Didn't know anything about his name.
There's somebody out there that is being considered the GOAT right now.
Mm-hmm.
That came up pretty freaking well.
Yeah.
He goes by the name of Drake.
Yeah. I mean, think of this little white dude named Little Mabu or whatever his name is. Like, he's the same way. He was a rich kid in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He just did a record with Chrissy on Rock.
Oh, I'm sleep.
Oh,
I'm
that
sleep.
dude, yeah.
I'm sleep.
Look, a lot of you have to understand, I know you grew up listening to a certain kind of hip hop, but being a criminal is not a prerequisite to being an artist.
It's not.
And y'all need to stop with that. Because a lot, I've told people maybe on this podcast where it's like, look, when Nelly came out, they talked about how he played baseball and he was recruited and that. Nelly was in these streets. They didn't talk about that till like maybe 4 or 5 albums in.
Until the MTV Behind the Music came out.
Yeah, until then it was like, oh, look at these guys.
Because I wouldn't have known until I saw that.
I knew his first commercial release.
If you really listen,
If you really listen to that song, he's really on some street stuff.
I didn't catch it early, but once somebody pointed it out, to your point, I didn't catch it early. I ain't gonna cap. But you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
He was actually the money man. He wasn't even supposed to be the one out in front. It's just that he ended up the one that had to take that opportunity because
easy.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. Yeah. Hey, Ali, Jay Moore, Ali tell a different story, man. Look, I know you know, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, it was supposed to be the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were like, hey, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the thing that he's got under his eye.
The Band-Aid.
That's it.
That's
it.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to Murphy Leo. That's a good brother. Met that brother. He's cool. That's actually good.
But he doesn't have a Band-Aid.
He didn't have a Band-Aid when I met him, but
Shouts to Nelly and his Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a Band-Aid.
So somebody that grew up like that, like Tut Tarantino, in a gated community, you probably should have took a different path. I mean, your daddy's Michael Irvin. He probably could have set you up real nice with a good job.
He probably is set up real nice.
Yeah, is, you know,
he probably has a good job.
Yeah.
Imagine like Shador Sanders trying to talk about the thug life.
Or he's probably one
That's
of
a
them
good
kids
comparison.
that he's still being funded by his parents, but he just can't get right.
Yeah, it's
Look,
possible.
You know
Clarence
what I'm saying?
had good parents.
Clarence had good parents.
Yeah.
Let's get this last one in. Let's talk Gucci Mane.
Yes, sir.
And Joe Budden. Joe Budden been popping in and out of news podcasts.
As he should.
As he should, right?
That means his work is being done out here
Somebody
in these
listening to
streets.
Joe Budden. So apparently they were having a conversation and Joe was talking about.
I'm a fan of Joe Budden.
I am too. Talking about Gucci's label and 1017 and his signings and the things that have
Happened to his signees.
So I'm going to go through a couple of passages here. Did I say that right, Lon?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Passages.
Not a hard word to say. I mean,
I'm just asking, bro.
not like you said, like,
Speaked.
yeah, I mean, or
Spoked it.
spoked it, or
You like
delectable or something like that.
Delectable?
Delectable.
Did you like passage?
Passage is normal, man.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not
I'm just asking, bro.
Your mom's an English teacher, man.
Now you talking about my mama.
Gonna get
I'm
a whooping
saying-
when you go
Now
back
you talking about
home.
my mama. Now you talking about my mama.
He's not talking.
I done known this dude a long
He's not
time,
talking
man.
about her,
No.
He's talking about you.
My mama like him.
but he's not talking about her.
All right, I'm emotional.
He's saying he's pretty much saying that
I'm emotional.
I'm co-signing
expects
your mother.
more from you.
Now he laughing.
Because he knows your mom.
He does. So let me read some of this Joe Budden.
That's
right?
why he's laughing.
Let me read some of this Joe Budden, and then I'll read Gucci's response. So he says, and this is in relation to, he's kind of making a comparison to the rap industry and sports. He says, the same thing has happened in rap the last decade, where we have never seen this many people die. We have never seen this many shootings, stabbings, click beef, arrests, RICOs. I've never seen it in hip hop. That conversation runs concurrent with, for me and the rest of the musicians, the death of the A&R, the death of musicianship. Those are together for me. He says, so when I say Gucci Mane's scouting needs to be under examination, it's because this is now what, 8, 9, 10? Obviously, question mark. I don't know. A whole roster that is just suffering from the different stroke curse. And I don't think it's a coincidence anymore. So somebody brought this up in the interview.
What is the different strokes curse?
Dead or in jail.
Yeah, talking about the actors and
But shout out to Todd Bridges.
Arnold and Willis.
He's doing all right.
he actually had.
Janet Jackson is doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did have some of that though.
I mean,
with the cast though.
I mean, with Dana Plato, that was probably the most tragic
It was
story.
the
Yeah,
80s.
for sure.
You know,
right.
but even with Gary,
80s with money.
Gary Coleman, his parents stole his money.
But let me read what Gucci said in response when someone asked him.
Okay.
So he says, I think that's unfair, You know what I'm saying? For him to say that, but I guess he's entitled to his opinion. But to me, who else is going to give them a chance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to sign the guys who don't need no help.
Like Tuck Tarantino.
Correct.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
That's
You're
brilliant.
very right.
Well, you podding right now. I'm signing the guys who don't nobody want to sign. Who's saying
Reading is struggling right now. What is going on?
Gucci got it chopped up.
Reading is fundamental.
Gucci got it chopped up over here. Who's saying like,
Want me to take over?
you got a criminal, you got a criminal record,
You need to increase the size of the font.
man. Hey, reading this is crazy. All right, so
Somebody is subscribed to Patreon so we get some new contacts.
where'd I leave at? Let me try this again because there's too much going on.
What is going on?
Like, I'm not trying to sign the guys who don't need no help. I'm
Okay.
signing the guys who don't nobody want to sign. Who's saying like, oh, you got a criminal record, we gonna stay away from you. Them the guys I'm giving a chance. So he says if they
Maybe
Stop.
you shouldn't.
Hey, man.
I'm sorry. It's like we criticize your reading. All of a sudden, you start reading louder.
Yeah, I thought that would help.
I went to the store.
Man, Gucci got a lot of
He like that kid in class. He didn't want to read.
bro. This is Gucci passionate with what he's saying. Basically, he's saying if they would have checked my background and my criminal stuff,
Right.
then people wouldn't have perhaps given me a chance.
For sure.
So is Joe Budden fair in his assessment?
Yep.
And or does Gucci have a point as it relates to him
We just
giving
literally
out opportunities
just
to
talked
people?
about an individual.
We did kind of because lacrosse tut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead, Long.
He's kind of accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Kind of accurate. Yeah, perhaps. What y'all think?
Private
man?
school tut.
I like Gucci standing up for his choices, but y'all think Joe got a point?
Yeah, I think Joe's got a point. I think Gucci's got a point too. I think they both have points. But if a bunch of your artists are dying, the most interesting part about this entire conversation was that he tied it into the relation of the A&R.
Mm-hmm.
Which
we've talked about the last what?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting anecdote. That's kind of a side conversation, though. I don't know if that's directly related to that aspect of it. But no, I do think Joe Budden has a very interesting point. But what is this? I don't think it's Gucci's fault. No,
that's what I was about to ask. Is it fair to put that at the feet of Gucci, the entire scope of all of the stuff that happens with 1017 or, the things that happen with the artist? Because it kind of comes off as it's his fault or he's responsible for it.
He does have a responsibility.
There's a level of responsibility.
In my opinion, I think once you bring somebody into your fold,
exactly.
With anything with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah,
I believe that's something that I believe in, and regardless of if he's doing a little bit, sure, it's better than nothing. But I think there is responsibility in that. To help these. If you're really helping these guys out of a situation, if they're in a bad situation, then we wouldn't be what Joe Budden say, like 8, 9, or 10 people pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there needs to be something else happening there. I don't know if A&Ring is the correct thing.
No, I don't think it's A&R, but I do agree with you on that because I was thinking the exact same thing. Once you step in to kind of be that, I don't want to even say savior because it's almost giving them
too much.
Yeah. But being the one that gives them the opportunity to change their situation and their living conditions, then you're kind of responsible to make that shift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So make sure that happens.
So rather than signing a whole bunch of people trying to help them, if you can't do it for that many people, then maybe you need to focus on a few first, move them, get them out of that situation. It's kind of similar to when Snoop Dogg signed to Master P.
Mm-hmm.
So when he signed to No Limit, P made him move from L.A., where he was in danger of possibly succumbing to the street life. He made him come to New Orleans, put him up in a neighborhood, a gated community, to where he's away from all of that, and told him, you cannot go back to L.A. for this amount of time.
Right.
Because, at the end of the day, it's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm looking out for you, I'm looking out for you.
If you're really looking out for
right.
them.
I don't want you to be in a situation to where you might lose your life behind what you're doing, and you're better than that. You know what I'm saying? You're already trying to overcome your situation. So he actually did it for all his artists.
He did.
He put all of his artists away from their upbringing, you know what I'm saying, to get them away from what was going on, to make them focus on this is what it is now. Yeah. This is where we're going. So I agree with Joe Budden in that sentiment.
I think too, when you put more money behind something like that in general, and you don't take somebody out of a specific situation, it's just going
to aid and abide.
It's going to push it even further, probably.
The same thing that happened with _CHINKS.
Oh yeah. With the, you can't. Okay, you got a Panamera. You go back to your neighborhood. Yeah. There's somebody not happy to see you, and found up being somebody that he knew.
Yep.
Who was just hating from the sidelines.
Yep.
Because you come back and your girl smile a little bit. It's too much for some people. Everybody's not happy for you.
Yeah.
But when you talk
say
about,
that again, bro. That's it.
When you talk about what happened with Gucci's artists, okay, if it had been one or two. But when it gets to be half the people you sign either go to jail or get killed.
Yeah, that's why
there needs to be a reassessment of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know you're thinking, okay, I'm giving these people opportunity, but you just can't give people a signing bonus in a 1017 chain and say, oh, your problems are over now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that.
Lone hit it on the head when he said, with that comes responsibility.
Exactly.
If anything, it puts a bigger target on your back.
Facts.
If you're not removed from your situation.
Because I remember Tony Yayo talking about, when I came home, I didn't go back to the hood. 50 made sure I was away from that.
Yeah.
Not just as a friend, but as, as someone who he had invested in, so, I understand because it's coming from Joe Budden. It can, because his platform and his voice are so loud.
Yeah.
It can seem like, man, this is unfair for you to say about me. But at the same time, I think it comes from a place of, hey man, what are you doing? Not to, it sounds like I think Gucci Mane has his heart in the right place, trying to give people
for sure
who maybe have
100%.
who need an opportunity and a space for them to make money to get them out of their situation. But you got to give them more steps, because think about how many times Gucci, he talked about it, how many mistakes Gucci Mane made when he was famous and popping, and still wound up in prison for this, that, and the third. And he, when he got out, he was such a different person. People thought he was a clone.
Yeah.
Because he came here and it changed his life.
Yeah.
So you got to go through Indiana first in order to change your life. I'm just talking crazy.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson came through here. Yeah, got right.
Gucci came out. They said he was a clone.
Project Pat did some time up Evansville.
Came through here. Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think this comes from a place of hate with Joe Budden. It's just,
sometimes conversations need to be stern. You know what I mean? Because there's no other way people are going to take them serious. And Joe's in a very unique position to be able to have this conversation.
Yeah,
he is.
Because some people may be scared to say that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it actually makes sense. If you put yourself in a position to change somebody's life, then change their life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
But heavy is the head, though.
Yeah,
heavy is the head with that.
True, but you can't give them the first 2 steps if you know the other 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just like, okay, get money, get a chain. Okay, that's not going for someone who is at risk and is like their life is on the line and they're on the edge of being in the street life. That's not really helping.
Nah, if you're not in a position to actually change your life, then there's no way. No, there's no reason to toy around with it because. And I'm not saying this about Gucci, but there's other labels that are taking out life insurance policies on their artists.
Facts.
So if you get signed to this label and you're still out doing what you're doing, they have a life insurance policy on you. So they're going to make their money regardless, whether you put it on an album or not.
Bun B actually broke this down. He said in his 1992 contract with Jive Records, this sounds crazy that, people were signing to a place called Jive Records in retrospect.
Jive Turkey.
But he said there was a death in jail clause.
Yep.
So where, okay, if one of the members of UGK either goes to jail or dies, then they can replace said member, but at a lower percentage royalty rate.
Right.
Yeah.
This is stuff that lawyers for record companies write into official contracts.
Official paperwork. Facts.
Legit.
And the thing is, they came to him with that when he went to jail and when Pimp C died. And it was like, what do y'all think? This is my friend. This isn't just some guy I do music with. This is my friend.
At the end of the day, to them, it's business.
Yes.
So regardless of what happened, is my condolences. But here in Section A1B, it states that you will not be getting paid said number of dollars because of what happened.
And how quick Terry said that is exactly how it is. My condolences. All right, let's get to this paperwork.
Because look, it's just like when people think that their job cares about them. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes maybe a little bit more here than there, but when the submarine thing happened, they was looking for new employees that day.
Yeah.
Before they even knew the submarine had imploded or whatever.
Listen, I had a job leave a total bad taste in my mouth to where I was set up my steps to leave based on when my mom passed.
Yeah.
Of how they responded about it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care about you or anybody that has anything to do with you. Essentially, it's all about the bottom dollar.
Look, they did the
I love how all of our conversations go back to capitalism.
Yeah.
Look, they did. Look, just think about it. They did the Wendy Williams show for a year and a half without Wendy Williams.
Yes,
I swear.
And now it's rebranded as
Sherry Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd. Yeah.
And now because Wendy Williams used to have a whole YouTube channel with all the interviews, and now it's like recipes and stuff. You would think Wendy Williams never existed.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be set up.
And that's capitalism.
The American way.
Drop the mic.
Hey, man.
Long story short, work on your own dream.
Come on, man.
Work on your own dream.
Instead of before you make some time. I know you got to get your money, but make some time to work on your own dream before you go all in on working somebody else's.
We appreciate that. I'm sure the artists appreciate the lob. Shout out to Gucci for throwing the lobs, but keep saying it, man. Heavy is the head. Just be careful, be mindful, because that's not a blip. that's a trend. And everything that we're seeing, 100%. Something's going on there.
Straight up. And if you're coming up like Tut Tarantino, stay where you at.
Yeah.
True. Don't be King Tut out here, man.
What's wrong with your boy?
He's buried.
Yeah. King Tut actually died from a sickness.
See?
Yeah.
You don't want to be like him.
And you know what they did?
Sickness of capitalism.
They buried him with all this stuff, and later on they just came and took it.
I'm talking about took everything.
Sure did.
Yeah, he's actually on a tour right now.
Exactly.
He is on tour, ain't he? Yo, that's crazy.
Right,
he is on tour.
He's on a European tour.
Yeah, exactly.
They took everything from fam and then put him on tour.
He's on tour.
What part
right
of the game
now.
is that?
What year did he die?
I don't
know.
Long time ago, though, right?
How many longs?
He's still working.
He's still working. Hey, just like a lot of rappers are still working after they're dead.
Come on, man.
He's on a war tour.
You get better promotion after you pass.
Yeah, exactly.
My man is still out here on the road.
He out here on the road. Gold all on my watch.
We're trying to give y'all
my
some,
chain.
we're trying to give y'all some game.
I swear they gonna miss it, Jay Moore. They gonna miss this game.
We gave you prophecy on our first joint.
Come on,
Game
man.
out here. Some
There's
game
so
music.
much. There's so much.
Listen, what Jay said, you better take the $500,000.
Hey, Jay.
Because I've literally given you all the game that I can give you.
Yo,
take the $500,000, go buy the records if you don't have them.
Yo,
That's
I
what he
laughed
said.
so hard when he said that. I think it was Gayle King he was sitting down with.
Yeah.
And he just was chuckling like, please take the $500,000.
Take it.
I've already told you I've given you everything.
I've given you the game. You know what's
Take
funny?
the bread and go ahead and
You know
do what
what's
you gotta
funny
do.
though? Rick Ross made a video talking about, I'm going to take the dinner. You already rich.
Yeah, exactly. Don't talk to
The,
tell me you take the dinner.
correction officer, Rick Ross, is not
when you
taking the
already
dinner.
up.
You already rich.
Because back in 2008, we were having this food, and well, I'm not going to speak on the food right now.
Yeah.
He spoke on it anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, of
Man.
course.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to take the dinner. You're already rich.
Yeah, Jay-Z said, "Look, everything I said I was going to do, and you know what he did because he said, yo, on You Don't Know on the Blueprint, he said, I'm Def Jam till I'm the 100 million
He did.
man.
Come
He
on,
did.
man.
He did. He did everything he said he was going to do.
Jay-Z
That's true.
is awesome, man. I don't care what nobody say.
You know, but once again, like I
Sloan didn't think
said,
so.
yo, like I make this joke more than once, but because like I said, Jay-Z don't want to talk to you anyway.
Nah,
Exactly.
he don't.
You gonna sit there in front of your lobster tail and
He
your
gonna cut his
asparagus
steak the same way he cut it any other day.
Sure is.
And Jay-Z, you know, he's gonna sit. You're not gonna say nothing. He's gonna be like, you should have took it to 500,000.
Should have took it.
I think it's dope that he actually said it out loud because that just tells people, look, this man is worth.
Don't be no
big-
dummy out here, pretty much.
Don't be a dummy. Like, don't be a dummy and think that Jay-Z is about to just.
Because honestly, I don't want to talk to Jay-Z either.
I would take $5,000. Like, I mean,
But Long, I remember you said this when we talked about this a
Yeah,
while back. Like, Long was like, nah, I'm.
taking the money regardless.
I'm
man.
taking the money.
You gonna pay for a couple bills? Cool. I'll
Yeah.
take the bills.
I can take the $500,000, and whenever he show up at the JW Marriott to do something, I can just buy a dinner to go there.
Exactly.
There we go.
You had a bread, wouldn't you?
I already got the bread. I got the bread to pay $1,000 or $2,000 to go.
Hey,
You know
listen,
what I'm saying? Have a nice plated dinner and hear Jay-Z speak.
I'm clearing up that debt. I'm clearing up everything.
Like I said, it could be 5,000. I'm still taking.
I'm
the money
still
over
taking $5,000 than to sit down.
Because my dumb ass, I'd be sitting there like, so when you did the blueprint, it wouldn't be nothing that would really help me. In
No,
real
it would just be interesting things.
Like, was you really mad at Nas in real life?
Yeah, exactly. I'd ask him some goofy stuff like that.
People will sit down and ask Jay-Z about how he felt about Ether, and then go home and your phone bill is delinquent.
Yeah. Did
You
you,
know what I'm
really?
saying? Like-
did you really leave a condom on a baby seat, or did you
Wow.
make that up?
Jay-Z got lucky.
Yeah, look, I'm going to tell you right now.
He's
if
gonna
you
be
take-
like, well, I was in the right place at the right time.
Is that what it sound like?
He said he came into the grand
100 grand strong.
That's what he said.
9 to be exact.
Removing G-Packs. That's what he
Look.
said.
Do you believe him or not? I kind of believe him.
I believe him,
your
Long.
dumb ass going to take a dinner with Jay-Z and have to make a payment arrangement with T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Run
wrong.
me that 500,000.
Yo, I
Don't get me
bet-
wrong. He knew stuff,
Yeah.
but he didn't know enough to where it's like the circumstances are going to like.
Nah, he didn't know all that.
Nah, he didn't know all that.
What he knew how to do was make money
You know what?
and then
You
talk
know-
about it.
You know the difference between us and Jay-Z is that
Beyonce?
if you don't take the $500,000, you're not going to have the starting point of where Jay-Z could be to even
And it's still
to
almost
become a Jay-Z,
It's still only half of what he started with before he started rapping.
True.
which is still a lot.
That is still a lot of money.
A lot of money.
But think about that in the early 90s.
He's going to answer. That's why he's saying you should have taken the money. That's the answer. That's the bar.
Exactly. Yes. He had a Lexus GS before he sold one record.
Come on, man. I mean, that's wild.
Have money to make money.
Run me to $500,000. I know what to do with $500,000.
Take the money because then you can have money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a horrible Jay-Z.
Jay Moore. Hey, Jay Moore. I'm with you though, because I just know that there are people that would take that mug, take the meeting
just for an Instagram picture,
just for clout. Oh man, I'm with Jay, man. Jay cut his steak like I do, and then they.
You know how many times I've been around
go back to work
rappers and I didn't take a picture because it's like,
never.
Well, show this
but
to
you know,
I've never taken a picture with a rapper, and I've met quite a few.
Yeah,
but you know, in this era, there are people that would do that solely for clout, and the 500,000 will go right over their head.
Run me that 500,
and they gonna go right. They gonna go right back to working at Ponderosa.
Run me that 500, that 50K. You could run me $500. You know what I'm saying? Like
500. I don't know.
Yes.
Hey, yo, if you work at Ponderosa, take the 500,000.
If he's paying for dinner,
MCL.
Straight up.
then
if you work at MCL, take the 500,000.
If he's
Mike could be like, so is it going to be Jello?
Hey, yo,
I need the whipped cream on top of my Jello.
Hey, yo, if you work at MCL, take the $500,000. And I love MCL.
You work anywhere, take that 500,000.
Would you take $500,000?
I don't care if you work at Lily.
Who, me?
Or would you take $500,000 worth of Jello?
I'm taking the. That's stupid. I take the 500,000 loan
of Jello. Yeah.
No, not of Jello. No whipped cream. I can't believe y'all fronting on MCL like y'all missed the Jello at the end.
I probably never had Jello at MCL, to be honest.
MCL's for old people. I'm going to keep saying this.
Yeah, it is.
The only people that I knew that
everything there is a la carte.
This is stupid.
Literally everything is a la carte.
This is stupid.
Because they can't, everything's cut out.
I've never seen grown men ignore their childhood this much. Y'all are ignoring y'all childhood.
Just because you
I didn't eat at MCL.
I told you.
That.
You was above MCL.
Because I was eating at Ryan's. Nice. I didn't have to go grab my separate plates.
Oh, so you front on MCL.
Slopped my plate full of food.
Stop eating food off of conveyor belts.
Yeah, man. I was at Ryan's, man.
MCL was an extension of lunch cafeteria.
Ryan's is definitely more cost effective than MCL.
I'm sorry.
So who was privileged here? Who got money, Mike? Because this is what you like to use.
And first of all, when's the last time you've been to MCL? You don't even know what they do up in there no more.
Did you go last Sunday?
So
took your mom.
So apparently, I grew up in poverty.
Didn't nobody say all that?
Eat at MCL.
I literally just said that MCL costs more than Ryan.
My grandparents used to go.
They're smart. They were smart.
They had money and they were old.
MCL again, Mike. MCL
or what
costs more?
Yeah,
than Ryan.
It's about the experience.
There's not.
It costs more though.
Heated lamps. Like they got everything together for you. The Jello is
old folks home.
Heated Jello does not sound like.
I didn't say the Jello was heated. Don't do that. I didn't say the Jello was heated. They have heated lamps over the food. Everything is where it's supposed to be.
Like Ryan's,
consistent. It's the get your tray slide. Everything is consistent.
Hey, Ryan's is murdering.
Absolutely
MCL.
is. Mm-hmm.
It's not even close.
Loved Ryan's.
Man. Not even close.
I mean, how you even up at MCL? You ain't got no AARP card.
Come on,
I'm saying.
Wow.
I am saying.
You could have You could have actually got the Jello.
Dinner's at 4 o'clock at MCL.
Ryan's. The Jello.
We're gonna do that. We doing that. That's what we doing.
Jello comes in a big vat with a whole bunch of Jello.
On that note, I'm not about to have a conversation.
He's like, let's end the show. It going
I'm not about to have a conversation about a vat.
There was a vat of Jello. And you scoop it out. You get as much Jello as you want at Ryan's. If you wanted Jello. That wasn't my cup of tea.
They did the pudding like this. They just cut a bag open.
Yeah, and poured it in the vat.
And poured it in,
NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year. Like, subscribe. If you see it, share it. Repost it. We appreciate the support. Check out our Patreon as well. Got a $3 holla option. We appreciate that. Shout out to the chat. Anybody that stuck with us throughout the duration of the show.
$3 gift certificates to MCL if anybody signs up for our Patreon.
Man. You might be able to get some Jello with some whipped cream.
That's petty. That's so disrespectful. That's petty.
Get there before 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Jello Bowls. We'll see y'all next week, man.
In a minute.
Yeah.